Welcome to Calcutta Races Monsoon Meeting, 4th day, Tuesday, 23rd July 2019 race preview. We move on to the first race, which is the Jeweler Handicap, to be run over a distance of 1100 meters. We're looking at number 1, Gimme Credit. Gimme Credit's last outing was in the winter in race number 210 over 1200 meters, where Gimme Credit finished right at the back end of the field to finish on 14th out of 14. And the winner of that race was Perpetual Winning, a runaway winner who won it by 5 lengths. Also in the same race, we had number 3, Aquitania, who finished on 8th. Both are running in the lower class this time. Number 2 will be Mr. Foggs. Mr. Foggs has just had one outing this monsoon meeting in race number 10 over 1100 meters, where Mr. Foggs was travelling 4th till it turned for home, and after much efforts, travelling wide in the final stages of the race, couldn't match up with the front runners and finished on 7th is Mr. Foggs, and the winner of that race was Astoria, and also number 4, Othello, who finished on 6th in the same race. Number 5 will be Buddy Holly. Buddy Holly's had two outings this monsoon meeting in race number 6 and race number 8, and Buddy Holly finished 8th in both its occasions, and the winner of the last outing, which was in race number 8 over 1200 meters, was Millennium Glory. Number 6 will be Lakshay. Lakshay's last outing was in the winter in race number 199, I beg your pardon, over 1100 meters, where Lakshay finished on 8th after much efforts, and the winner of that race was Dancing Prince. Number 7 will be Bambini Festa. Bambini Festa's last outing was in the winter in race number 207 over 1400 meters, where Bambini Festa travelled right at the back end, right through the race from pillar to post, finish on 14th out of 14 was Bambini Festa. Also in the same race, we had Glorious Run, who finished on 1 ahead to finish on 13th, and the winner of that race was City Heights. Number 9 will be Hudson. Hudson's last outing was in the winter season in race number 204 over 5.5 furlongs, where Hudson finished on 12th, and the winner of that race was Logano. We move on to the second race, which is the Pentagon Handicap, to be run over a distance of 1400 meters. Number 1, we're looking at Aggression. Aggression's last outing was in the winter season in race number 100 over 1600 meters, where Aggression finished on 8th, and the winner of that race was Singapore Sling. Number 2 will be Abarella. Abarella's last outing was in the winter over a mile in race number 138, where Abarella finished on 8th. That travelled very wide in the final stages of the race, and the winner of that race was Arjuna. Number 3 is Pep Talk. Pep Talk's last outing was in the winter, just had one outing in race number 104 over 1200 meters, where Pep Talk finished on 10th out of 10 runners, and the winner of that race was Aftershock. Number 4 will be X-Light. X-Light's last outing was in the monsoon meeting in race number 7 over 1200 meters, where X-Light finished on 2nd, 1 3/4 lengths behind the winner. That was Marigold, who won that quite impressively. Number 5 will be Royal Remembrance. Remembrance had one outing in the winter season in race number 204 over 1100 meters, where Royal Remembrance got towards the rail side, finished on 10th, and the winner of that race was Logano. Number 6 will be Gramercy Park. Gramercy Park's had 4 outings in the winter season, last one being in race number 190 over 1400 meters. Winning legend out of Manhattan Rain is Gramercy Park, finished on 13th out of 13 runners in race number 190. And the winner of that race was Fabiola. Number 7 will be Auntie's Boy. Auntie's Boy's last outing was in the winter season in race number 146 over 1100 meters, where Auntie's Boy finished on 9th out of 11 runners, and the winner of that race was Romantic Lass. We move on to the third race, which is the Annihilator Plate for horses to be run over at 1400 meters. Number 1 is Top Notch. Top class out of Ilzam is Top Notch. Been quite a promising 3-year-old is Top Notch. Last outing over a mile in the winter season in race number 187. Gave it a good fight to the winner, that is Trafalgar. Finished 2 lengths behind to finish on second was Top Notch. Also in the same race we had number 9, Inca, who finished on 4th. Number 2 will be Avira. Avira's last outing was in the winter season in race number 200 over 1400 meters, where Avira travelled first all the way till it turned for home and then gradually dropped back to finish on 4th was Avira, and the winner of that race was Roxa. Number 3, we're looking at Avellino. Avellino's last outing was in the winter season in race number 133 over 1600 meters, where Avellino finished on 7th, and the winner of that race was Jayawant. Number 4 will be Glendower. Glendower has had 2 outings in the winter season, last one being in race number 104 over 1200 meters, where Glendower finished on 3rd, and the winner of that race was Aftershock. Number 5 will be Avebury. Surf rider out of Abilene is Avebury. Last outing being in race number 192 over 1400 meters, where Avebury tried to poke through in the final stages of the race, but couldn't match strides to the front runners and finished on 4th as Avebury, and the winner of that race was Murakami. Number 7 will be Popcorn. Popcorn's had 1 start this monsoon meeting in race number 9 over 1200 meters, where Popcorn finished on 8th, and the winner of that race was Incendio, who came up with a late run on the outside and went on to win that race by a long neck. Also in the same race we had number 8, that is Ajita, who finished on 6th. Number 10, we're looking at Palmeria. Palmeria has had 1 outing in the winter season in race number 206 over 1100 meters, where Palmeria travelled 3rd till it turned for home and got towards the rail side, faded away and finished on 7th as Palmeria, and the winner of that race was Astoria. We move on to the 4th race, which is the Moana Handicap, to be run over a distance of 1200 meters. Looking at number 1, Midnight Star. Midnight Star's last outing was quite an eye-catching one in race number 18 over 1200 meters this monsoon meeting, where Midnight Star travelled 3rd all the way and remained in that spot. And the winner of that race was Perpetual Winning. Number 2 will be Lumos. Lumos's last outing was quite an impressive one in race number 3 this monsoon meeting over 1100 meters, where Lumos came up with a real rattle on the outside and won that race by just a nose by beating Lady 2. Also in the same race we had number 6, that is Stunner, who finished on 4th. Number 3 will be Vice Admiral. Vice Admiral's last outing was over a mile in the winter season in race number 202, where Vice Admiral was amongst the front runners and finished on 5th was Vice Admiral, and the winner of that race was Porthos. Number 4, Sheer Force. Last outing was in the winter season over 1400 meters, and quite impressive that was for Sheer Force. Went on to win that race in a pillar to post victory by beating Devotion by a long neck. Number 5 will be Luminac. Luminac's last outing was in the winter in race number 191 over 1100 meters, and quite an impressive one that was for Luminac. Came up with a very strong run in the last 150 meters from home, and went on to win it by a length and a half by beating Next Star. Number 7, we're looking at Novikov. Novikov just had one outing this monsoon meeting in race number 12 over 1400 meters. Novikov, after much efforts, finished on 5th. Was amongst all the horses in the final stages in a tight position, and then got an opening, but couldn't get much out of Novikov. Finished on 5th, and the winner of that race was Airlift. Number 8 will be Angel Grace. Speaking of which, out of Serafina is Angel Grace. Last outing was in the winter, was over 100 in race number 127 over 1400 meters. Was quite unlucky. Led the field, then eventually got beat by a short head to Fancourt. Number 9 will be Ruby Cube. Ruby Cube's last outing was in the winter season in race number 192 over 1400 meters, where Ruby Cube finished on 5th after much efforts, and the winner of that race was Murakami, who came up with a very strong run in the final stages and won that race by a nose. Number 10, we're looking at Mahasuvi. Mahasuvi's last outing was in the winter in race number 210 over 1200 meters, where Mahasuvi, after much efforts, finished on 7th, and the winner of that race was Perpetual Winning. Number 11 will be Aqua Racer. Lord Admiral out of Watch is Aqua Racer. Has had 3 outings in the winter. Won its first 2 outings over 1100 meters, and last outing over 1200 meters in race number 92. Finished 3 lengths behind the winner. That was Angel Grace. Number 12 will be Nembe Greek. Nembe Greek's last outing was in race number 6 this monsoon meeting, where it closed down at even money, and couldn't get much out of Nembe Greek. Finished very wide of the track was Nembe Greek, and pulled up away from home to finish on 7th, and the winner of that race was stablemate Bacardi. We move on to the 5th race, which is the feature of the day, the Harry the Horse Cup, to be run over a distance of 1400 meters. We're looking at number 1, Multitude, multidimensional out of Heidi. Last outing was in the winter season in race number 188 over 1600 meters, where Multitude finished 3rd, and the winner of that race was Cadman. Also in the same race, we had number 4, that is Cadman, the eventual winner of that race in race number 188, and number 5, that is Shivalik Shahs, who was the leader in the final stages and then faded away to finish on 4th was Shivalik Shahs, and the winner, as I mentioned, was Cadman. Number 2 will be Amorous White, stern opinion out of Adios Meadow Lake. Last outing being in race number 11 this monsoon meeting, or its first outing over 1100 meters, and Amorous White came up with a very strong run down in the center and went on to win that race by half a length by beating Kramer. And also in the same race we had number 8, Brahmachari, who finished on 3rd towards the rail side. Number 6 will be Capricious. Capricious's last outing was in the winter in race number 195 over 1200 meters, where Capricious finished on 3rd, and the winner of that race was Breeze of the South. Number 9 will be Multi Glory. Multiglory's last outing was in the winter season in race number 181 over 1400 meters, where Multiglory travelled very wide in the final stages of the race and finished on 12th out of 12 runners was Multiglory, and the winner of that race was Breeze of the South. We move on to the sixth race, which will be the Smart Sharma Handicap, to be run over a distance of 1400 meters. Number 1 will be Leopard Creek. Leopard Creek's had one start this monsoon meeting in race number 8 over 1200 meters, and quite an impressive one that was for Leopard Creek. Came up with a very strong run on the very wide outside and finished on 3rd was Leopard Creek. And also in the same race we had number 9, that is Utaka, who finished on 5th, and the eventual winner of that race was Millennium Glory. Number 2 will be East Side. East Side's last outing was in race number 192 over 1400 meters, was ridden by S. Zarwan, where East Side travelled 3rd all the way and remained in that position to finish on 3rd, and the winner of that race was Murakami, this time being ridden by Pete Trevor in the monsoon meeting in its first outing. Number 3 will be Christiana. Christiana's had 2 starts in the winter season, last one being over 2,400 meters in race number 63 in the winter season in the Calcutta Oaks, where Christiana finished on 7th, far away from the winner, that is Oriana. Number 4 will be Vrishang. Vrishang's last outing was in the winter season over a mile in race number 203, where Vrishang travelled 3rd till it turned for home and then gradually faded away and finished on 7th was Vrishang, and the winner of that race was Duchamp. Number 5 will be Nobleman, Western Aristocrat out of Phenomenal. Nobleman had one outing in the winter season in race number 189 over 1600 meters, travelled 2nd all the way and then gradually faded away and finished on 11th, and the winner of that race was 7 Step. Number 6 will be Demonstrate. Demonstrate's last outing was in the winter in race number 207 over 1400 meters, where Demonstrate, after much efforts, finished on board to finish on 3rd, and the winner of that race was City Heights. Number 7 will be Cool Conqueror. Cool Conquerors had 2 outings this monsoon meeting in race number 6 and race number 17. Last one being in race number 17, where Cool Conqueror finished on 8th over 1400 meters, and the winner of that race was Marbella. Number 8 will be Stelvio Pass. China Visit out of Analia is Stelvio Pass. One outing this monsoon meeting in race number 2 over 1100 meters, and quite an eye-catcher. Finished on 2nd, 4 lengths behind the winner. That was Shania Spet, who was just too good that day. Number 10 will be Windchaser. Windchaser's last outing was in this monsoon meeting in race number 9 over 1200 meters, and quite impressive that was by Windchaser. Finished on board to finish on 3rd, and quite a close 3rd that was by Windchaser. Came up with a real late run, and the winner of that race was Incendio. We move on to the 7th and last race, which is the Wakaborn Handicap, to be run over a distance of 1600 meters. Number 1, we're looking at Airlift. Airlift's last outing was this monsoon meeting in race number 12 over 1400 meters, and what a surprise that was by Airlift. Came up with a very strong run on the outside and went on to win it by 2.5 lengths by beating Ashna, who finished on 2nd. Also in the same race, we had number 6, Wonder Boy, who finished on 7th. Number 2 will be Fiorel. Fiorel's last outing was in the winter over 1600 meters in race number 196, where Fiorel came up with a very strong run in the final stages of the race and went on to win it by half a length. Also in the same race, we had number 3, Dancing Lord, who finished on 3rd. Number 4 will be Sniper. Sniper's had 2 outings in the winter season. First outing over 1400 meters where Sniper won it by 1 length, and the last outing being in the 2000 guineas over a mile where Sniper finished on 5th, and the winner of that race was the Super Filly Adjudicate. Number 5 will be Apna Time Aayega. Multi-dimensional out of Farashina is Apna Time Aayega. Last outing being in the winter over 1400 meters in race number 208, where Apna Time Aayega finished on 6th, and the winner of that race was Sheer Force. Number 7 will be Duchamp. Multi-dimensional out of Reflected Glory is Duchamp. Last outing was in the winter in race number 203 over 1600 meters, where Duchamp was ridden on hands and heels in the final stages and went on to win that race by 3/4 of a length by beating Stellanova. Number 8 will be Bojangles. Bojangles has had 1 start this season in race number 10 over 1100 meters, where Bojangles finished on 4th down on the center of the track after much efforts, and the winner of that race was Astoria, who won it pillar to post. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and hope to see you tomorrow afternoon at the races.